Now, the next talking point, as voted for by the viewers, 51% of the vote it had. Neeks. Actually, I'm going to go to Have Hope first on this.
Oh, God.
Cristiano Ronaldo refusing to come on, drop for this weekend, and talks of him being sold in January. Speak to me about Cristiano Ronaldo's petulant behavior.
Like, if I could have almost 2 hours, I could just go into a 2-hour dialogue. So I'm going to just condense everything. Look, my beef with this extremely egotistical dude stems from him stealing the name Ronaldo. There's only one Ronaldo. There's only one. Yeah, I've always had that beef with him. So put that to one side. He messed up. Real Madrid, you don't leave Real Madrid. Paris didn't tell him to go. He was like, well, you've just won the Champions League. Everybody's celebrating. But you have to be the one that says that, well, I want to feel appreciated and everything. So you actually dampened the whole mood after the Champions League. So how he thought the story was going to go is, I go to Juventus and Real Madrid will never win the UCL. And they pretty much begged me to come back after I've given Juve the UCL. He goes to Juve, realized that as important as I was, so was Modric, so was Ramos, so was Benzema, and so forth. Casemiro, everybody. You don't win the UCL there, United. Oh my gosh, these guys are struggling. But if I go back there, the king is back, and I'll now take them back to the top. You get your 17 goals. Cool. But they finish 6th. But because you're such an egotistical dude, you're like, hey, man, the GOAT is back. I get the 17 goals, even if it didn't really help with the whole team. So you've signed a contract. You're under contract. But now you want to now come out of that contract. So United should therefore now buy you out of your contract to let you go, even though that you are under contract. And yes, they are well within their rights to use you either for playing time or for merchandising because you're under contract. No one came for this dude. So please. No.
For this dude.
No. Twitter is a cesspool full of liars and people who use surgery to look like freaking Cristiano Ronaldo. So
that's why you got so many followers.
So my thing is that nobody came with a concrete offer for this dude. So don't believe any of those lies. For Cristiano, I think this is just karma because the biggest issue with him are his fanboys. Look, that's the biggest issue with him because his fanboys, they are the people that enable this kind of attitude from him. You look at that statement, that he made that statement because he's like, okay, let me go to social media. I'll look at CR7 rap rhymes. I love CR7 and all of these accounts that say that, oh my gosh, United have been so disrespectful. They've treated him badly. So he used that and say, I don't need to apologize because I've seen from another angle how I feel wronged. When Terrace refused to come on for Mancini, that was the first time I ever saw a player at the top level refuse to come on as a sub. It is one of the most disrespectful things to do to a manager because you're like, I can't fight with you. I can't force you. I can't start arguing with you because I have to manage a game. To refuse to come on, that is beyond disrespectful. And it's so funny how life works. Imagine if you had a situation where United were playing badly and they were losing without Cristiano. You're in a difficult situation because you have to discipline him. But then you're like, man, we do need him. So it now enables the Ronaldo fanboys. This plays like karma. United are playing. United's performance against Tottenham, that is the best I've seen United in years.
Yeah, since LVG.
Yeah, and Cristiano did not play a single minute. Everything happens for a reason. So the fact that you walked off after United had their best performance in years, if I'm Ten Hag, you never play a single minute. And for Cristiano, you've messed yourself up. Fernando Santos, you're going to play him. Now, if you're in the right, and while you're looking at that World Cup, if you're not match fit, I can't start you. But it's Santos. Him and Cristiano have a special bonding. So you're not going to screw over Portugal and play a player who is not going to be match fit for the World Cup. But you've messed yourself up. Hopefully you don't play single minutes. You'll go into the World Cup not fully match fit, and we'll now see how that will end up. Come January, who is going to come for you? Because anybody thinking that they wanted to get Cristiano in the summer were like, do we want this drama?
Yeah.
Do we really want to bring this drama to our club? We may have been considering before. So, and you guys said Todd Bowley. I'm going to be on a conference call with Todd tomorrow. And I'm going to say, Todd B, I am begging you, bro. Please, I am begging you. Potter is doing well. The team... Todd B! Okay, thank you. But my thing is because imagine you bring Cristiano into Chelsea right now. That's messed up Graham Potter because if he comes in, he has to start every game. and so forth. But Potter now has full control over this team. If Cristiano comes, he's not going to come with his legion of fans and that baggage. So I feel for basically it's so perfect for Ten Hag. It's perfect. Team is playing well. Team looks good. It's without Cristiano, and the only people that say that Ten Hag is wrong are the Ronaldo fanboys. That's it. Everybody is in unison.
And at this point, they're not really Man United fans.
No.
I think anybody who's player FC is not really a fan of the club. Like sometimes you just have to cut. Like that's what I like about Ten Hag. Honestly, like he's dropped players. Dropping players works. It does. It's the best thing you could do, especially when you first come in. You have big personalities. Drop people who aren't listening to you. It is what it is. And then I think I like the way he handled it. He didn't let the Ronaldo situation overtake or be the main talking point after the best game that United have played under him. He didn't let that become the story. And I like that. He showed that he's the main guy and Ronaldo is just going to have to deal with it. And I don't know. I just think he was supposed to leave in the summer. Nobody wanted to come and bring it. Like you said, didn't want to put in a bid for him. And so now he's acting out. And is anybody surprised that this is happening?
No.
This is not shocking.
To be fair, though.
Sorry, I mean, just to say, I said this in the summer. Again, I agree 100% with Mark Goldbridge's tweet from the other day. Ronaldo is responsible for what he did. 100% Ronaldo is responsible for what he did. But this is on the Glazers. Ronaldo's personality was never going to take well to him not being a regular starter in the team. Because the way his head's working is every attacker at our club, for me, isn't even half the player Ronaldo was at his best. In his mind, he's still that player, and he hasn't. Ronaldo hasn't accepted yet that his body isn't there anymore. I don't think he's accepted it, and he can see we're better without him. He knows we're better without him, but he doesn't want to accept it, and he's angry and frustrated. And a lot of Man United fans predicted that if he stays in this team this season, he would become a problem player. What's making it even worse is that I actually think what the half of it the Glazers have got right is they're allowing Ten Hag to have the power to say no. And I think that's also frustrating Ronaldo, because we know 2 years ago at United, 5 years ago at United, 8 years ago at United, those players, the Pogbas and the Martials have done it, the Di Marias and others, they go upstairs and say, well, we want to play, or we want to be able to leave, or we want to do this. And the Glazers sided with the commercial players over whatever manager was in charge. And they have made a conscious effort to say that's not going to happen. And for that, I'm thankful. I'm annoyed they kept him here in the first place because he shouldn't be here now. But for me, I've seen a lot of United fans defend him or say it was disrespectful, though, for him to warm up and not be brought on. No, it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't at that stage of the game. Ronaldo would have offered us very little in that moment. We needed players that would come on, track back and run, ensure we didn't concede any stupid late goals. Anyone defending Ronaldo at this point, for me, I agree with you, Jess, isn't a Man United fan. You're a fanboy of the player. And for me, because you don't support Man United, your opinion for me is absolutely invalid.
No, but sorry, before you go. So people say, okay.
What you say you're gonna trim down your 2 hours?
No. Okay, this is my last day out. But
come on, Sebastian.
Half hope or double H. But people say, okay, it was disrespectful for him to warm up and not bring him on. So does Cristiano pay Ten Hag's wage? Because last I checked, it was Man United. And when you're in a game, you change your mind. So you're like, okay, this game is going this way. Okay, actually, you know what? So in Ten Hag's mind, he is thinking about what is the best thing for United. He can't be like, I promised Cristiano to play. Oh, and also promised all his fanboys on Twitter that I'd play him. So let me not disrespect him. For Ten Hag is like, I made a decision based upon what was going to happen. But question to the panel is, I need to just know the truth here. When was he thinking of bringing on Cristiano, and when did he refuse to come on?
He was thinking of bringing him on before the match ended. And that's the only thing that matters. I don't care if it was the 94th minute or the 4th minute. The manager says, get ready and go on. Maybe he wants to waste time to ensure the clean sheet, get a tall player on the pitch to defend the corner, whatever it might be. I don't care. Your manager said to strip off and get ready to come on.
Yeah, I know you come.
You get ready to come on. Simple as. So for me, I mean, the Ronaldo fanboy thing it's very funny because generally, listen, this is the first time Ronaldo's really showed out like this. We know, Ronaldo got ego and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of great sportsmen have egos. Michael Jordan has one of the biggest egos in sport history, if not the biggest. the things that he would do to his teammates, let alone whether it's a coach or a manager. But so for me, that's by the by. It happens. Some players have it, some players don't. But so the fanboy thing, you support Ronaldo because he's a great player. But I've seen another side to it where those fanboys, they are so much, in his wherever they might be, that they can't see him do any wrong. They can't perceive that he might actually not be God and he might actually be human and be able to make mistakes. They can't see it. And it's frustrating that even among people who are Man United fans, they're jumping through hoops. So I'm not even going to say call all them fanboys per se, but there's some of them are jumping through hoops and doing mental gymnastics to try and find a way to criticize Ronaldo because you know that he did wrong, but not to really go as far as you would go if it was someone else. And for me, it's like, just call it what it is. He was downright disrespectful. If he told him to warm up and didn't want to bring him on, you sit back down. If he told you to warm up and come on, which actually came out after, because that was the issue. At first, people were saying, well, why would you bring him on in the 89th minute? Why are you going to give him those Van der Beek minutes, etc.? Then we find out, no, he actually told him to come on. So that actually makes it worse. Because you said no and walked off. You didn't just walk off because you weren't coming on.
And there's a simple scenario.
That actually makes it worse. But they're still doing gymnastics to defend him. It's crazy.
And there was a simple scenario. I think when we scored the second goal in the 69th, 70th minute, there was no need to push for it. So you don't bring attackers on until later. And then it was a case of, I think that substitution was purely to waste a bit of time, which is what you do. And we had a game against Chelsea this week. And Chelsea, we'll get onto later, but rested players in their midweek game. We played our strongest 11. Ronaldo was going to be needed this Saturday. Without a shadow of a doubt, he was going to be needed against Chelsea. But his refusal to come on is disrespectful. And now he's dropped. So he's actually damaged Man United in this game because we have a weaker bench than with him on it. I'm not saying he should start, but Ronaldo in the last 15, 20 minutes of a game we need a goal is still dangerous.
When he came on against Arsenal, he made an impact. He didn't score, but he made an impact. So Ronaldo is still a useful player. And for 37 years old, he's a bloody good player for a 37-year-old.
But I mean, I think it's a key point that Terry made. And it goes to the Ronaldo fan, and I think this is really just criticizes everything. His fans, because he has tunnel vision, him and his sister, they have tunnel vision on the supporters. So he has in his mind that I'm still 25. Bro, he said during the international break that, no, I'm going to play in Euro 2024 when he's 39. So in his mind, because of the people that still think he's this great, he still thinks he's 25, and that is dangerous. Because when you look at Modric right now, Modric knows that I'm 37 and I'm playing and accepting I'm playing as a 37-year-old. Messi knows that, okay, I can see the end right now. Mark this down. Cristiano will not voluntarily retire. An injury is going to retire him.
Yeah, no, I hear that completely. Viewers, want to get your take and your thoughts on that. We're going to do some super chats now. After that, we're talking about Arsenal and can they win the league?
Sorry, can I just say, obviously, HH took the mic and I don't know why he's so passionate about. Is he really your idol? Maybe he's really your idol. But for me, obviously, the big question is what happens with Ten Hag. Also, what happens with Cristiano Ronaldo from here? Now, for me, and you know that we're obviously being on the Football Terrace and our channels working, I've always defended the manager of Manchester United, the position of manager. So for me, the answer is whatever Ten Hag wants. If Ten Hag wants Ronaldo to never play another game for Man United and never train with the senior team again, then I back that decision completely. If Ten Hag is comfortable with Ronaldo's statement, I'm not even going to call it an apology because it's not an apology. He didn't say sorry once. He didn't say, I apologize. He basically said, shit happens. That's what he said. That's what he said. But if Ten Hag is comfortable with that, and he's comfortable that he's spoken to Ronaldo personally, and maybe Ronaldo's apologized to him personally, and maybe Ronaldo's apologized to his teammates, or whatever it is, if Ten Hag's comfortable enough to reintegrate him into the side after suspension and fine, which I think is the right thing, then I'm comfortable with that decision. Would I do that personally? Maybe not. But I back the manager. And this is what I mean by backing the manager, what they want to get rid of, who they want to sign, how they want to play, whatever it might be. And in this case, I have to back Ten Hag on this because I just think if you go against him, whatever it might be, no, Ronaldo has to stay or Ronaldo has to be sold, then he loses the respect that he's actually gaining every day at Manchester United.
But this is obviously to Terry, Neeks, and obviously any United fan. does this situation not actually help Ten
100%.
Because there was all this talk at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Does Ten Hag even want Ronaldo? Is Ronaldo going to leave because of
Yeah.
it? Is he going to drop him? Is he going to accept it? I remember Gary Neville on Sky Sports actually sat down with him and said, what's your plans with Ronaldo? Do you want that type of player? How does he fit?
I think
now that Ronaldo's
Yeah.
done this, it actually helps him because it's like, you've made your choice. Now.
Yeah.
But
Now you're not playing, and no one's really going to have any qualms.
Yeah.
does Ten Hag have enough credit so far with the Man United fan base to be able to
Yes.
drop somebody like this? And if it doesn't go well, there is so much of the season left over. Do you know what I mean? Where if
Yeah.
form dips and you guys aren't seeing the same return, that the fans won't turn on him then, because that's usually when you see
I
it.
think dropping Ronaldo permanently means he leaves in January, and we've only really got 3 or 4 games.
Yeah,
This is true.
Yeah.
So
True.
how long would the form dip between
Now and
when Ronaldo leaves?
It's about
That's the
it,
thing.
right now. I think Man United fans are fully behind Eric Ten Hag, and especially with the performances we've had. You know, barring the opening 2 games and then City trouncing us, we've been pretty good in the majority of other matches. And what we've seen in our last 3 games is his style coming through, which is what we were all hoping for. And I think the reason that other managers got thrown on the buses by the fans is the football was annoying us as well as the results, and people can see like an end. But viewers, what do you think in relation to that? Should he be sold? Should he be moved on?